All right, everybody. So it's a beautiful day. I get to sit here and talk to my friend Bobbie Lloyd. Me and Bobbie met a few years ago in the filming of Next Great Baker. And for whatever reason, she's been very, very kind to me over the past few years. And we've stayed in contact, and she's given me advice that has been invaluable. And I appreciate her very much, and she's here. So this is the first one I'm doing. And this is my friend Bobbie Lloyd. And thank you for being here, Bobbie.
I'm so honored you chose me as your first, and like for whatever reason, Don, because you're a superstar.
Yeah, right. So, I know. I'm a
you're
superstar.
You know, that was such an amazing journey for us doing that show. And you know that I think it's like 5 years ago already.
It's crazy.
Time does fly.
Yeah.
But I met great people like you, and incredibly talented people, because you do stuff I don't do. I'm a baker. I'm not a decorator. You do amazing stuff.
Yes, and I use you always as sort of a blueprint for me to try and follow, because a lot of people in the business we're in, it's a very insecure community of people, and they don't like to be helpful to other people. I find when you find somebody that does this and appreciates somebody, and actually you comment on my stuff, most people feel like they just won't do it. Another cake person will not comment. And I think there's enough for everybody out there.
I don't think you're following the right cake people. So one thing I learned a long time ago, because I started in the restaurant industry, is that in the restaurant industry, you have restaurant organizations, and you've got the, share the strength, feed the people, all these things that chefs get together in as a community.
Right.
In the baking world, we still don't have that community. So it's up to us to create that and help each other.
The artist side of the baking, the cake world now, we're very delicate human beings, artists. And we need to be handled very, very delicately. But you've been gracious for me. I've come across some people that haven't been so gracious in the past, and I just appreciate you always. And the quickest story is I'm sitting in a hotel in Washington, D.C. with my daughter, and you see that on Instagram, and by just chance, you're doing a grand opening of your new store in D.C., and you invite me to Magnolia for the grand opening, and most people don't do stuff like that. And I will forever
we're a team.
Absolutely. And that show, the devastation I felt at the end of that show when I got voted off was so heavy duty. You're so invested in it. But now I won. Like 6 years later, I'm the winner. I'm still here. And what that show had did for me, I'm grateful to Buddy for putting me on that show. It's launched this whole thing from that, really.
Those shows they're so unfair. I will never, ever do a competition myself, because I don't have the confidence to do what you guys did. But I have had some of my bakers and employees that have done them. One girl told me it was the hardest thing she had ever done, that she vomited the night before. It was one of those one-day competitions, win $10,000 and it's over.
Yeah.
Like, she said it was just the hardest thing she'd ever done. And then another girl that worked for me went on one that was like I forget how many weeks it went. And we were all sure that she was the winner, because she knew that we all knew that she was going on this Hawaiian honeymoon. So like, she had to be the winner, because they booked this trip, and she wasn't.
She wasn't the winner.
She didn't. She got down to the last two.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can see how it's kind of soul crushing, because everybody's like in your court and you're going to do it, and it's so amazing. But then, like, what happened with you is incredibly talented people get eliminated because people have to get eliminated.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's a TV show.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's so hard to eliminate anybody. It's like, I don't want to eliminate people. And then there are people that should have been eliminated day one that didn't get eliminated.
I get it.
Because they make for great TV.
But the benefit of being on for 1 hour every week for 10 weeks was crazy. It was, you can't pay for that.
Yeah.
So I have a few questions for you that I'm curious about.
Sure.
How are you handling this past 6 months? First, we'll talk professionally. How have you handled this whole thing?
I am very, very lucky. I literally thank my lucky stars every day that we're still open, able to employ enormous amounts of people still who are taking care of their families. It's a challenge because, as everyone knows, landlords aren't negotiating, and that really is the determining factor of can you stay open or not.
Right.
We had 10 stores before the pandemic hit. We're down to 9. We may end up at 8.
Who did you lose? What space did you lose?
Our store in DC permanently closed.
Gotcha.
So we made it for 2 years, but the landlord wouldn't negotiate, and we just couldn't. We couldn't continue to just burn through money.
Right.
So, and it was a very expensive rent. So beautiful store.
Oh my God, that space.
There.
It was an amazing space.
It was really pretty. So, but we have 2 more stores opening this year. So
yeah, I actually keep this. I actually keep this on my desk, and you're gonna think that I did this as a prop, but I don't. This is not a prop.
Oh my God, that's sweet.
Me and my daughter.
Yep, I remember.
Well,
that's sweet.
I keep this on my desk because there's going to be a grand opening, and we're going to redo that photo where you come to my grand opening, and we're going to create that picture. But I keep it there as like a little motivation and reminder of just that day, because it was a great day. But so professionally, you're open. Most of your spaces had tables and chairs inside?
No, and that's why we were able to stay open. In New York, we only had 1 store with tables and chairs. All the rest of them are pickup only.
Gotcha.
So we were considered essential. When the pandemic hit, we kept 2 stores open plus our e-commerce. And the hardest part, I think, was getting employees to come to work for them. The hardest part for me was laying off 400 people.
Yeah, crazy.
It's just, it rips your heart out. And it was a hard one to get through for the first couple of weeks, first day, and then the first couple of weeks. And then it was determining, how can I get these stores back open and when? Who can I put back to work? And of course, the PPP process was a boatload of fun, but we did it. So able to keep a lot of people employed. And I've got employees who've been with this company for over 20 years. Magnolia Bakery is going to be 25 years old next year.
Amazing.
I have 2 bakers that have been in the company 22 years. That's insane. And I have a large portion of my management team who have been with us over 10 years. So I don't want to lose anybody.
Yeah, and clearly it's a good company to work for because they've stayed that long. They must enjoy working there. Now,
it's sweet.
Personally, have you been doing a lot of working from home? What have you been doing?
I have been the one person who came to the office every day throughout the pandemic for 2 reasons. One, I felt that I really needed to have a presence in the home office. If I asked stores to be open, that I should be here for them to support them. But secondly, it was like, oh my God, 4 adults in one house trying to work together. Someone would have died.
Yeah, crazy.
And it wouldn't have been me.
Yeah, luckily too, we didn't miss a day here. We were essential, and I got to come here every day and work, thank God.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And it really is, I find it harder to work at home. The distractions, I just didn't get the right amount of work done. Coming to the office, I could really focus and really do the things I needed to do to make sure that we could continue to operate.
Yeah.
So, and then, dealing with everybody was very emotional. Everybody was, everyone had concerns. Everyone was scared.
What have you been doing for yourself to keep yourself sane, keep your head clear?
Everyone says the same thing, family. Yeah. Making sure that I was there for my family. I was walking to work a lot in the early stages, and it's a 3+ mile walk, but I'd walk to work and walk home. And that really, getting fresh air, being outside, and then being with my family, teaching my son how to cook during the pandemic because he was home from college. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, we all got to spend a lot of time doing stuff that we had been neglecting, I think. It's like a reset button for everybody.
Yeah.
But I hope everybody remembers and sort of keeps those things involved in their day-to-day. But I think everybody's sort of going back to normal, the way it was normal before. But I was in the city the other night. I drove into the city, and it was eerie. It was an odd feeling. I hadn't been in Manhattan since March, and
wow.
It was a little weird for me. It was a little weird, but
That happened to my husband. My husband, we rented a house upstate for 3 months. We went up there May 1st. He came home August 1st. He didn't come home once during that entire time. And I had seen it all throughout the process. So for me, it was kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's the normal. But for him, it was kind of a shock. The first day he was home, first he was a little scared, a little nervous. What do I do? Can you go out? I don't want to touch anything.
Right.
But you know what? Now you get into a routine. You make sure you're careful.
Just stay healthy. Everybody try and stay healthy. Do the right thing. And, you know, kids like my kids, your kids, my daughter's doing college from home, which is crazy.
Mine too.
I can't even imagine missing out on the college, you know.
Because she's a freshman, right?
She's a freshman
at
Boston Conservatory at Berkeley, where she's doing performance on the computer, which is crazy. But listen, it will build character in these kids. You know, they'll use it as a tool to remember, I got through that. It wasn't that bad. And it'll help them in other situations, I think.
She's so talented. I've seen some of the things you've posted. So to do that at home and be on a computer, you're right. It takes that much more work on their side to make connections. My daughter picked a school in California and she's home. So it's how do I meet kids at my school on the West Coast?
Crazy.
And a bunch of kids, you know, they figure it out. Instagram, whatever, they figure it out.
Yeah.
And they find a way to make a connection. They have had a couple meetups in Central Park. Social distancing, face masks, getting to know someone, instead of just doing it all on Instagram or, you know, TikTok or whatever it is they love to do.
I'm here. I'm lucky enough to have Bobbie LLoyd on with me. So here's the question everybody wants to know, Bobbie. Where did the banana pudding originate? Where did this thing come from? It's almost like crack. Where did this where was it born? The banana pudding that we get now at Magnolia, where did this come from?
So, you know, it's a good question because when I was writing the cookbook, I actually Googled, like, what's the history of banana pudding? No one can identify where the first recipe came from. It might have been like a Good Housekeeping back in 1890, or it might have been like, you know, someone's Southern grandma who threw some pastry cream, some bananas and vanilla wafers together. But at some point around the 1950s, it was on the back of a vanilla wafer box. And it was Jello brand, it was Jello brand pudding, vanilla wafers, and bananas layered together.
And was it something that had been made? Did you make it in your family, or?
I never made it. No, it was Magnolia, because, you know, I'm not the original owner of Magnolia. Right. It was someone else. So she had it on the menu because she had it as a kid. And it was one of those like sleeper items at the bakery where, they'd make some, and if it's sold out, we're out. I never really made a ton of it, but it became this sort of fan favorite, employee favorite item. So when we bought the bakery 12 years ago, we just started blowing that stuff out every day and making more and more of it. And then 5 years ago, we decided to do the we created a holiday, National Banana Pudding Day. And for that first year, we introduced a new flavor, which I'm a big peanut butter fan. So we did peanut butter that year. And now we have, I think, 18 or 19 different flavors of banana puddings. We launch a new flavor every month. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's the thing that we get.
It's crazy. So like this month's flavor is kind of like the kitchen sink. It's got double chocolate dipped pretzels that we make them ourselves. So chocolate dipped pretzels. Yeah, right. Mini chocolate chips, Oreo cookies, like broken up into chunks and bits, and salted caramel that we make. And it's insanely good. So it's like your favorite ice cream. Like I like Chubby Hubby and Fish Food and all those things, like lots of junk in it. So it's got little crispy bits and sweet bits. It's so good.
It sounds really good. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I have a question for you about the peanut butter one. Do you find you have people that won't come to the bakery because you have peanut product in the bakery, cross-contamination, or no?
If someone asks about nuts, we always tell them, like, just don't eat here. Just don't get anything here.
Gotcha.
There's nuts, they're everywhere. We can't control it.
I get so many phone calls about the peanut thing that I'm so hesitant to incorporate it here that I don't know, but it's my favorite. Peanut butter and chocolate is my favorite thing. We made a cupcake, and in this craziness, I started doing cupcakes.
I saw. They look great.
Thanks. It's great. The whole thing happened. Listen, nothing is by accident, but we just tried to just stay busy. So we started doing cupcakes, but I made one, a buttercream cupcake with fresh banana, peanut butter buttercream, fresh banana, and then we dipped it in the hard chocolate. So it's like peanut butter buttercream.
Oh, I saw that one.
It was so good, but I'm always hesitant with the peanut butter here because we get so many phone calls, and I'm concerned with cross-contamination. But I don't know. I may just start doing it. I think people love the peanut butter.
It's really hard. We just launched the gluten-free banana pudding, and we bought gluten-free wafers, and it was about finding a company that we knew could support our volume that makes gluten-free wafers, certified gluten-free wafers. But our bakery is not safe for celiacs. So I always tell people, you're serious? Don't eat here. Don't do it.
All right. So I want you to give me a couple minutes on this new book. Show me this book, please. The new Bobbie.
It's probably like backwards. So coming out October 27th is the Magnolia Bakery Handbook.
Oh my God.
A complete guide for the home baker.
Show how thick that book is.
It's thick.
Show how thick.
It's a big one.
Yeah, that's amazing.
300 pages. I will tell you, 2.5 years labor of love. There was some tears involved here and there because I am not a writer. And I asked my editor, like, well, I can write recipes. That's not a big deal because it's not writing prose. You just write a recipe. It's like a formula. But I said, how do I write the headers? She said, just sit down and start writing. Don't think about it because we'll edit out what you don't need.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. Then it made it a whole lot easier. So if it didn't matter if it was too long, I would just write. So I ended up turning in a manuscript that was 60,000 words.
Yeah, you turned in Moby Dick.
Yeah, it was like 10,000 words too many. That's a lot to cut. We ended up cutting a whole chapter, which is fine because I just wrote. That was the advice. Just write. Doesn't matter.
Right.
That's what editors are for. And I will tell you, wow, did I learn a lot in the process. That is what editors are for. You hear the same thing about movie making.
Yes.
It's what's cut out that makes it better.
Yeah, I feel bad for that industry right now. Actually, a couple of people I know in the industry, it's crazy. And the restaurant owners, which I know a few. Your circle of friends, you must have hundreds of restaurant owners in Manhattan. I don't know what these guys are going to do.
I talk to friends almost every day. Like literally every day, someone reaches out about. It's really more about again community. It's like, what are you doing? What have you experienced? How's it going? Do you know anybody? Like all those things, they matter so much at this stage. It's supporting each other. Luckily, in New York, sorry, go ahead.
These guys have run these businesses for 20 years, 30 years, 15 years. Successful guys doing it the right way, treating their customers right, and by no fault of their own, they're failing right now, and they've done everything correctly. They didn't do anything wrong, and I don't know how they're going to bounce back. This outdoor dining is going to go away real quick because it's going to be cold in 2 weeks.
I just saw the coolest thing at this restaurant in my neighborhood. They bought these bubbles, and one night last week when it was pouring rain one night, they posted a photograph of all these people under the bubbles.
In their own bubble?
Each table's in its own bubble.
Wow, I like that.
I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So they can, and I don't know if you could heat them. They're plastic bubbles, but it's literally a full-on bubble. Like, whoo.
Yeah, but isn't the waiter going to have to walk in the rain to get to the bubble?
Yes, he did. In fact, have to walk in the rain.
So the waiter's going to have a problem walking around in the rain, but I don't know. I feel horrible. Like in the industry we're in, I know photographers and DJs and wedding bands and the catering halls. They're just in the state of they have no idea. Nobody's booking a giant wedding right now because are you going to hand somebody $50,000 deposit on a room? No, not right now. You're not.
We haven't made a wedding, like a traditional wedding cake since February.
No, I'm doing backyard weddings all summer.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm doing backyard weddings. But I don't know. I think the people that pivot and sort of try and reinvent what they're doing, they're going to make it. The people that are sitting around waiting for it to come back, I don't think are going to make it.
Yeah, that's why we really pivoted to a lot of e-commerce. E-commerce is hard. It's got its many challenges between the packaging costs and frozen product shipping, and it's all so expensive. And then what do you charge? And what are people willing to pay to have something shipped? Yes. That's a big factor. I'm from Chicago, and I have my favorite pizzas that I love in Chicago. And like twice a year, I'll order in my Lou Malnati's pizza because I gotta have it. It's not the same as when you're there in the restaurant. But
I just saw a review for it by, do you know who Dave Portnoy is? He does the One Bite Pizza review. He just reviewed it. He did it from his apartment because he was in quarantine, and he did the frozen one. And he said, out of all the reviews, that was the best frozen pizza he's ever had.
It is. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
I like that. Yeah. So that's shout out to Dave Portnoy.
Yeah,
he said it's the best. He said it's the best frozen pizza he's ever had. But
wow. But you pay a premium when you have them shipped.
I'm sure.
You gotta
I will tell you, I have had Magnolia Bakery cupcakes shipped.
You have.
They're a little more expensive for a dozen.
Yeah, a lot.
Than they are in the store. And I think I used Gold Belly. You guys deal with Gold Belly? Yeah, I did it through Gold Belly, and I had it shipped. And it was a little bit of a premium. It was a little bit of a premium on the dozen cupcakes.
Yeah, we're trying to get that cost down, but it's hard because the packaging that you have to use is so expensive.
Yeah, I know. You guys have a styrofoam container, ice packs, it's got to be.
And that's about just your own cost alone can be $12 to $15.
Right.
And that's just a straight pass through. You're not making money on your packaging, so you got to somehow figure it out. And then you got to pay Gold Belly.
Luckily, there's so many Manhattan people that live other places. They need their Magnolia Bakery cupcakes. They need it because some states you go to, the baked goods are not as good, Bobbie.
So true.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I've learned in the bakery world is find the thing you like from each bakery. That's why I'm a big fan of everybody. Because like I love giant meringues, the great big ones, like big puffy ones where the outside's crisp and the inside's soft and chewy.
Who do you go to for that?
You know what? One of my favorite places was Le Pain Quotidien. They had a great one. They're closed.
They closed.
Yeah. So and then there's this other place down in the West Village called Marvelou de Fred that does these little.
You're so classy, Bobbie Lloyd.
Of Marvelou de Fred. I can't even say it right because it's French and I don't speak French. Right. But there are these amazing little meringues with chantilly cream, and you think you're picking up what looks like a cupcake, but then it's like lighter than air. It floats, and you feel like you're not eating anything. Right. They're so incredibly good. So that's what you got to just support everybody to find the thing that you love.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And there are so many spots in New York to just go get one. You can get one really good thing. But
I'm a fan. Banana pudding at Magnolia.
Well, I have to come in and get the pretzel one. So let me ask you now, everybody in our business used to have, this is, you talk to people and they go, this is my 6-month plan and this is my 18-month plan. This is our 20-month. Everybody's on like a 30-day plan right now. Or if you have a plan at all, do you guys have something that you're transitioning towards that you're trying to do for the winter into next year?
I'm only laughing because for a long time I had the everyday plan. Yeah. I was like, you wake up in the morning, you think you're going to do ABC, but by the end of the day, you did XYZ.
Right.
So it's learning how to go with the flow and ride with the tide and accept that every day is going to change. So yeah, we have plans in place, but boy, do they change quickly.
Right.
Every time I turn around, something's changing. Like who would have known that there would be a pandemic or that we could get a PPP or that you used up your PPP or that now you don't know what to do next. It's, and then e-commerce, we had what we thought was the 2 to 5 year plan for growth. And that plan blew up in 1 month.
Yeah.
Into, oh my God, we thought we wouldn't get here for 5 years. We're here now. We couldn't even get product, like raw product or boxes or packaging fast enough. We had to cut off orders, because we just didn't anticipate that it would multiply by 5 times.
Yeah, and the factories that you were getting product from weren't up and operating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're actually, there's companies that are not able to keep up with production right now on a lot of packaging. Our paper vendor has called us to say like, oh, we're out of this, we're out of this, we're out of this. It's
Yeah, the
behind
same.
2 weeks. Yep.
Same deal. What I think it exposed, this whole situation, it exposed people who had weak immune systems, and it exposed businesses who had weak immune systems, because you instantly saw these people were shutting down in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks in, and people were announcing, I'm closed. And you said, well, this must have been a business that was not.
Yeah. I have friends that, I have one girlfriend who in DC who, it's so sad too. She was building a new business, so she put all of her money into that new business. So she didn't have a fallback fund because she was using it as an investment for the next business.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. She was out. She was done in 5 days. Now she got her PPP. Things are good. She's reopened. She's even opened up the new place. So she'll come back.
There's a bakery in my town that opened right before, like a month before this, probably February, end of January. And it opened, and they went out of business already. And I said to my kid, one of my daughters said, that place has only been open 3 months, 4 months. I said, it's not only 4 months. That idea was in their head for years to open that bakery. And the money that they saved for it was years and years in planning. They finally got the courage to open it, and they did it. And then 2 months later, this happened. They probably used every cent they had.
Yeah.
The bakery.
No fallback. Yeah.
Yeah. They were all in.
It's sadly close to my unfortunate cutoff time because I'm having such a good time talking to you.
Bobbie Lloyd, it was my pleasure. We will do this again, hopefully.
Absolutely.
For maybe my 100th episode.
Yeah,
we will
I'm
do
in
this
it.
again. But
and I'm going to invite you. You invite me to your opening. I'll invite you to my next opening, which is coming in about 8 weeks. So,
I will be there wherever it is. But thank you. I appreciate you always, Bobbie Lloyd. And
my pleasure,
you be safe. Your family be safe. And we'll catch up soon.
Good. You too.
Thank you, Bobbie.
Talk to you soon. Bye.